Shalom! Today we will be reading The Invitation, written by Sharman Castillo, out of the book WoW Stories, Volume 1, copyright 2007. The Invitation. Lisa and Andre. Oh my gosh, Lisa! Did you hear? It's gonna be the greatest ever!
Gosh,
I'm gonna go get my invitation right away. What about you? The happy teen ran down the school hall, bursting with excitement. Get what? Oh, and girl, please get your hands off my arm. I keep telling you this. You're causing a wrinkle on my blouse, Lisa said. Lisa was one of the most popular girls in school. She was beautiful, well-dressed, and came from a wealthy family.
Super gorgeous.
All of her friends were like her as well. Their families were not only very well off, but they were very close, too. Tracy, the girl speaking with her now, was no exception. Well, I just heard that the most important party of a lifetime is about to take place. The creme a la creme is supposed to be there. It's by invitation only. Can you believe? I'm going to go get my invitation as soon as I see her. See who? Vania, you know, the new girl, kind of shy and quiet.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, well then, it can't be the creme a la creme, as you say, if she has the invitations. Anyway, who else can we get them from? Lisa, that's just it.
Oh my gosh,
no one
girl,
else
hear
seems
me
to know
out.
anyone other than Vania who has the invitations. For now, she's our only hope. Suddenly, Tracy jumped for joy. Oh, great! There she is! I'm out of here! I gotta go, girl. Oh my gosh. You can't be serious.
What in the world is wrong
I know
with
you're not really
Tracy?
gonna go over there
I'm serious.
and beg for an invitation from her. Lisa rolled her eyes. Ugh. Oh, Lisa, why can't you just humble yourself and try to make a new friend? She's not as bad as you think. She really is nice. Tracy shook her head and ran off to talk to Vania,
Girl, you
who
gotta
greeted
get
her with a
bread.
happy smile. Andre, I really don't know why we even bother with Tracy sometimes. She can be so simple-minded and tacky. I mean, really. Vania? I don't know if she really understands just what her position in society is.
You're right.
Next, she'll probably want this Vania girl to hang around with us. Can
Please.
you imagine? Andre smiled at his friend. Lisa had always been a little stuck up about their group, and he kind of felt the same way.
Just us.
But he also knew he was not going to miss a party this big due to Lisa. Well, Lisi, I'm with you. So I plan on going to this party myself, but I can guarantee you I will not lower myself by going over there and
never
getting one from
happen.
this Vania girl either. I'll just wait and see what they look like from the others who get one. Then I'll make some fake ones, and I'll pass them out to our friends. I'll save you one if you want. Oh, Andre, you're so smart. But no, thank you.
What's
I don't
wrong with
need
you?
one. I'm sure that once I show up and
me.
tell them who I am and they figure out who my family is,
Yehudi.
they'll just usher me right in. As a matter of fact, they should be quite happy. Andre and Lisa finished gathering their books and hurried to their classes before the tardy bell rang. Vania. Hey there. I hear you have invitations to the big party that's coming up.
Yay!
I know. Wait. I know you don't know me or anything, but my name is Tracy. I feel kind of embarrassed and all asking you for an invitation considering the fact that you've been here a little while, you know? And I've never taken the time
my
to come
gosh,
and ask
forgive
you
me.
anything
Please.
before or say hi or anything,
So embarrassed.
Tracy said. Tracy had run up to Vania in order to get an invitation.
Oh my gosh.
But now that she was here, she felt pretty guilty because she had never given Vania the time of day. And now here she was asking for an invitation. Vania gave Tracy a tremendous smile, like they had been friends all along. Never be embarrassed to approach me. I've seen you many times before, and I already knew your name. By the way, I was hoping you would come and ask me for an invitation.
Really?
I have lots of them, but not many people are asking for any. Vania had an ethereal beauty about her, She was soft-spoken, and listening to her now, Tracy felt instantly drawn. Vania had been at Kodesh High for nearly 3 months. She had made a lot of friends, but of the more popular girls, well, they were just plain down cruel to her. And she couldn't understand why. They had not even given her a chance. But she chose not to hold it against them.
I won't.
Vania understood how it was to be a teen. Little did they know, had they dared to come up to her, she would have embraced their friendship immediately.
Thank you.
Well, may I have one for myself and 2 more for my friends? Tracy asked, barely able to control her joy. I'm sorry, Tracy. I can only give you one, because
so
anyone else who
sorry.
wants one has to personally ask me. I hope you understand. Oh, of course. I'm just happy to have mine.
I'm very grateful.
You know what, Vania? I don't have anything to wear to this party, and I thought, well, maybe we could go shopping at the mall together.
That'll be great.
What do you think? Tracy felt kind of shy suddenly. However, Tracy did not realize she had just made Vania so incredibly happy.
I'm so happy.
The girls agreed to meet on the following day, which was a Thursday. The big event was on Saturday night after the Shabbat, so they didn't have much time. Tracy ran off to her next class, holding her invitation tightly. Vania ran to her next class, hoping more people would ask for an invitation.
Other people will ask.
Friday. Hey, Lisa, have you gotten your invitation yet? When Lisa shook her head no, Tracy
my
was appalled and
gosh.
said,
Are you
The party
serious?
is tomorrow. And Vania said only those that come up to her and actually ask her personally will receive one. What is wrong with you? Don't you even want to go to this party?
I just don't get it.
Tracy could not understand Lisa's pride on this matter. Vania was such a sweet person, and as far as she could tell, Lisa was being unreasonable by not wanting to go and ask for her own
Oh
invitation.
my gosh, leave me alone.
Like I told Andre, I really am looking forward to the party, Tracy. Which is lucky for them that I want to go at all.
I have my
I just don't feel
pride.
like I have to bow myself down to Vania for anything. I can just show up, you know. The people in this town know who me and my family are.
Everybody knows
Just
who
because
we
you
are.
felt it was important to lower yourself down like a commoner doesn't mean that I have to do it. In addition to that, if it becomes necessary for me to have an invitation, then Andre has made one for me.
I'll call upon Andre.
As a matter of fact, he's made some for all of us. So all I have to do is ask him. Lisa was super irritated at this point. So she got up and left the table where they were eating and went and sat at another table with
I'm
another
sorry,
group of girls.
Can I sit with you? It's kind of challenging over there.
The party. The big night had finally arrived. The whole town buzzed with excitement. In the middle of town square, the huge banqueting hall had been transformed to something out of a fairy tale.
Oh my gosh.
Lights
how
blazed from
beautiful.
all of the windows, and the most beautiful
How
music
gorgeous.
ever heard drifted outside. People's voices were raised to conversation and laughter. The line was long leading up the stairs to the entrance. A butler who was richly dressed in white uniform with gold braid running down his arms and chest checked each invitation as the guests came up the stairs. Lisa, Tracy, and Andre, and a group of their friends, stood at the end of the line. Lisa was a little upset because they had arrived so late to the party and now they were at the back of the line. Fortunately, they didn't have to wait long because the line was moving quickly. Andre once again tried to offer Lisa a fake invitation, but she declined,
need
stating that she had it on good authority that all she had to do was state her name.
You know me.
Invitations, please. The butler at the top of the stairs asked the last group to enter. Yes, well, my name is Lisa, and I'm from the Yehudi family. I'm sure you've heard of us. Yehudi.
I think so.
Yes, I do seem to recall that name. It's a rather large tribe. How are you doing this evening, young lady? Fine, I guess, Lisa replied. She was a little annoyed that he hadn't instructed the footmen to open the doors for her yet. Well, in order to enter this party, you have to have an invitation. You do have an invitation, don't you? The butler asked Lisa again. Lisa stood back in stunned silence, realizing for the first time that this man actually was not going to let her enter the party without an invitation. Sir, I have an invitation, Tracy spoke up. The butler smiled, took the invitation she offered,
Thank you.
and held it up under a fluorescent light to examine it.
There it is.
The butler looked at Tracy and smiled. He then looked up to where the footman stood and nodded his head. The two footmen who stood on either side of the big double doors opened them. The lights from within was blinding, and the music and gaiety overwhelming. Tracy entered in, and then the doors were closed again. Invitations, please, the butler said to Andre, who handed him his invitation. The butler smiled, and as he put the invitation up to the light, he frowned. Sir, this invitation is not authentic. I'm sorry, but if this is the invitation you are presenting, then this will not get you in here. You too should have gotten an invitation from Vanilla. They were free, and given freely as well. What? Why do you think this is fake? This is a real invitation. I got it from Vanilla myself, Andre snapped. He was super embarrassed, but also desperate, because he just had to get into that party. He could not bear to miss it. I'm sorry, sir, but this is a fake invitation. I know it is, because you see, when you place this invitation up to the light, on the right-hand corner, there appears in little lettering, "This is my friend," with the initial V. Sir, if this is the invitation you and your friends are going to present, then I'm sorry. You must have the real thing in order to enter here. The butler walked back to his position. The unhappy group of teenagers stood where they were and could not believe that they were not going into what seemed like the most amazing party ever. Lisa's eyes began to water. Why hadn't she just lowered her pride and asked Vanilla for the invitation? She would now be inside having so much fun with everyone else. Lisa felt so excluded, and she knew she had brought it on herself. While Lisa and the group she had come with were still standing on the top of the stairs, a beautiful white car drove up. The chauffeur stopped the car and got out. He went around to the other side of the car and opened the passenger's rear door. Out stepped the most handsome and distinguished man Lisa had ever seen. The man turned and reached his hand back down to the open car door, and out stepped Vanilla, dressed in a beautiful white gown. She reached her hand and took hold of the older man's hand. Vanilla looked lovely, and excitement showed all over her face. She stepped out from the car and made her way up the staircase. When she got to the top of the stairs, the butler and both footmen bowed their heads as they opened the door to let them in. Lisa stared at the butler and said, "Hey, why did you just let her in without an invitation?" "Madame, I let them in because this party was thrown in honor of her by her father. I know everyone was told of this upcoming party. I even know that she passed them out personally herself. All anyone had to do was ask, and she was eager for all to attend. I guess some were just not willing to seek her out. Why? I don't know, but that is their loss. Now, if you will excuse me, the footmen and I too were invited as well." The butler then reached inside of his coat pocket and produced an invitation. The butler and the footman then turned and left Lisa, Andre, and the rest of their group, as well as many others who just showed up, on the top of the stairs and went inside to join the others for the greatest party ever held. Wow. Isn't that what Yahuwah has done for us in our case? He has sent his son, our Mashiach, Yeshua, to pass out invitations to all who will repent. For there is no other way to the Father but by his Son. So on the day when we all stand before a righteous and Kodesh Elohim, do you have your invitations? The Ruach HaKodesh? Wow. Todah, Todah. And thank you for once again joining me for another WoW Stories. Isn't it beautiful when you really think about it? How amazing and awesome our Father is. He's like a well-rounded orchestra. The only way to get to him is through his Son. And the only way to get to the Son is if the Father calls you. And once you're called and you accept it, he gives us his Ruach. Oh my gosh, how amazing. So brothers and sisters and little Yaladiym, praise Yah that he's called you. He's called me. And we will one day spend all eternity with our Abba. So until next time, Shalom.